What's up, everybody? It's your favorite hypercolors, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Fans Hobby Clutch. This is on loan to me from Richard H., so I appreciate his help. He actually sent me a box full of stuff. We're going to be looking at some of it here, some of it on Patreon, a lot of like exclusives of recent. So we're going to be looking at a lot of that stuff, but today we're looking at this one. Can't look at them all today. Had to be patient, right? But today we're looking at this one. So let's go ahead and take a look at it, but in order to do so, we need to first start with accessories. So we'll start with this little targeting system here, just a translucent plastic with some sculpted detail in it, which is fine. And that can store on the bottom of your sort of battle station. You can do it on either side, whichever you'd prefer. And then this also will clip on to your weapon here so that he can use a targeting system during battle station mode. So he comes with this signature gun. We have some silver and gold painted on top. We have some green highlights. We have these two armatures here on the side, and then we have some silver and green there. We have a handle that flips down, and the barrel extends. Now, I know what you're thinking. What good is a gun without bullets? And you'll be pleased to hear that it has bullets. It has 3 bullets. They are all spring-loaded and over top of a translucent yellow plastic, so the gimmick is sort of a bit obvious, but you just insert them into the barrel, and then where is it? Where's the trigger? You would never give it to an ordinary citizen. Where is the trigger, actually? Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's this little piece here. Just slide it to the side and it will fire. So we'll go ahead and load another one in. Oh, you got to make sure you do it the right way. Pushing this to the side with my thumb. You know, and it does a fine enough job. Nothing really crazy, but gets the job done. There it is. Now, you can also take these armatures and collapse them by spinning them at the ball peg and sitting them down along the side, and then you have this handle here. I would maybe even collapse that. And it uses a rail that the same Make Toys and Fans Hobby kind of always use that works great when it's like this. Holds it just fine. And all of that can obviously store in your battle station, so you can plug the weapon in to the little armature there, and then you have one bullet sort of already loaded, and then you can take these other two and insert them onto these little side panels there, and now you're storing sort of the whole ensemble. Alright, so let's look at vehicle mode. First of all, there it is next to Tiger Tracks. So a decent little size fella. Moving on, I think it has good color breakup. The pink in there and there, the green. Some of it's different color plastics, some of it's paint. We have the caution stripes, that's all pad printed paint. We have the lightning bolts, that's all pad printed paint. We have silver and red, or copper and red in there. We have silver on the side, some copper at the front. The translucent plastic over top of the kind of deco, like the details inside. The back looks, you know, trailer-esque, which I think is fine. You know, rolls like a champ. Decent sculpt work. Some of the kind of robot parts come through and actually add like the little line work there. The grill looks good. Hides the robot well enough, I think. You know, I don't have any real criticisms with this. I think they did a pretty good job. So let's go ahead and get it transformed, and I'll show you where that gun is stored to, because it's kind of a two-part system. So we're going to take off the trailer. That's been dying to kind of come off the whole time. It's one of my few criticisms of the vehicle mode, is that the trailer doesn't feel entirely secure. Anyway, here you can see this is where the gun is stowed. It has 2 armatures that come out and plug in, and then it has a little hook here that clips underneath. So you just kind of gotta release the armatures and then pull it forward. I got a little overzealous, as in typical me fashion, I suppose, but that will get you started. So we'll start with our little battle station here. You just flip these walls out, flip these panels up, flip these panels around, and the last thing that you have here is this little, oh me, oh my, let me get a spudger, one that's not broken. Why is this giving me such grief? Maybe if I push here. There we go. And then this slides down to kind of form a more of a tripod, which I think is actually quite nice. And then you flip this piece up and you're good to go. Which just leaves us with the truck. So untab the arms from the side, and then they will double hinge down at the chest. And then you can sort of get those anatomically positioned correctly. There's a flap that opens on the side. That will allow you to flip the fist out. Oh, I had it anatomically correct to begin with. And you know the reason why I thought it was anatomically correct was for the exposure of this joint. But that's because you put it this way, and then you rotate the cannon to the back, and then that hides the joint there and exposes it here. So that all checks out. All right, same for this side. Down. We're going to rotate. Flip your hand out. Close that. And see, we can disconnect these feet, or should I say, and they will tab in underneath. And I think that's it. You can open that up and then separate the legs, of course. And then lastly, open this up, extend it. This part of the chest flips down, clips in. The chest piece comes up and plugs in, and then this piece comes around to the back, and these two pieces interlock. And it seems like this should do more, but I don't know. Something doesn't feel quite right to me. Let me make sure I'm not missing a step. And the answer is no. He is finished. So I guess I was getting it confused with the part that combines, but he doesn't even have like the combiner pieces to make it adaptable. So yeah, this is what you see is what you get, buddy. Ta-da! Right? All right. Anyway, there's his head sculpt. Looks good enough. We had the kind of mask painted on. I wish the nose of it was a little bit more pronounced. Like it stuck out a bit more. He's got the Darth Vader mask going on with the two tubes. And then he's got the green eyes, the green bit on the crest. The head is on a ball peg. You get back to there. Good down. Side to side. A little loose, actually. And then confused clutch face. We have a waist swivel. So there is one, but it's with these two tabs here that while pushed in, you don't get to utilize it. And when released, then you get to utilize it. But it still ends up kind of banging into these pieces back here. You got to really have them out of the way to utilize the full thing. Then that can kind of get in the way of other stuff. It's just a little clunky in that regard, but it is there. No doubt about it. And then to lock it back in place, you just make sure that it's squared up and then press these pieces in on the side. Arm, you can get up to about there. Forward and back, you have like a bit of a butterfly on a really large ball peg, and then the 360 around. Nice copper detailings there. Elbow, or bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow, gets you basically the full run. Nice green and blue breakup on the gray, that looks fantastic. The wrist swivel, fingers are on a base pin knuckle. The index finger is individually articulated, and that's the same for the other side. Hips, we can get these hip skirts out of the way. We have universals, they're ratcheted for the full Van Damme. And I say pretty much the full Monty, we give it to him. Silver accents on the pink, thigh swivel just above the knee. Single hinge knee that gets you 90 degrees about, a little shy. Nice green accents that look sharp as a tack. Ankles, if you untab them, you get a crazy ankle tilt down. You get an ankle tilt up. And you get a rocker. And if you untab them, you get more of all of those in a toe tilt. So, I don't know. I guess that counts. We have the same kind of car detailings there. Some silver. It's fine, man. I'm not crazy about the proportions. A lot of that is because of the combining element of the other mold. Or the other use of the mold. You know, it's okay. Good enough for an exclusive, I guess, but nothing necessarily to write home about. You know, it's fine. Size comparison wise, there it is next to another Fans Hobby offering or two. So hopefully that will give you some sort of an idea of where he sits. Taller than a Headmaster Jr., shorter than one of their monster bots, which I suppose is about right. Final thoughts wise, we'll start with the negative. I'm not smitten with the articulation on this thing at all. Limited shoulder articulation, outward typewriter fingers, limited knee articulation. I get all of the sacrifices it made for combine mode, but that doesn't mean that it gets a pass inherently. Speaking of sacrifices made for combine mode, I find the proportions to be a little wonky. Like, I wish I could like pull his legs and extend them. Do you know what I mean? I wish the nose mouthpiece was a little bit more pronounced. He doesn't really hold the side of the cannons very well in the battle station mode. That's because they went with the rail system for the gun, which works perfectly for the gun, but for the battle station mode, not so much. And that's probably it. I mean, that's a fair amount, to be fair. I could nitpick it further, but those are my big criticisms. Moving on to the positives, I love the color breakup. I think that the sculpt kind of modernizes the character well enough. The transformation's obviously straightforward and almost completely effortless. It almost does it on its own. I like the spring-loaded bullets. I like the trailer into the battle station. Like, I do think that that's a cool idea. I wish it was perhaps a bit more effective, but I think that it works well. There's translucent plastics, pad printed paint, metallic paint. Like, it displays well if you're into the idea of the character. So in that sense, I can recommend it, but it does have an awful lot of shortcomings, mainly because of its use of the prior mold. Be aware of those, be okay with those, and you'll be good to go. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.